Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani and welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism and narcissistic relationships and healing from them. So we're going to start with the issue of loyalty today. How many of you see yourself as a loyal person watching this video? I like to think of myself that way. Let's talk a little bit about why that becomes an issue in these relationships. Lots of us see ourselves as loyal. It's a virtuous state, a healthy state. I would argue it's something we value in people as a quality more than almost any other quality. We value loyalty. Now, of course, just because someone says that they are loyal doesn't mean that they are. Some people who claim to be loyal are anything but, and will proclaim and sell folks on their loyalty while simultaneously stabbing people in the back pretty regularly. Narcissistic people in particular love to consider themselves as loyal, virtuous, morally upright. Hell, they even think of themselves as empathic, right? So that's how much distortion and almost this sort of strange delusionality there can be with this personality style. But this video isn't about them. We already know that in general, narcissistic people are disloyal. But what does loyalty mean to you? For most of us, it's about honoring our word, standing by people we care about, especially at a difficult time, standing up for something or someone we believe in, following through, sticking to a moral code, keeping promises. All stuff we would agree is loyalty. And generally, these are our behaviors, right? The way we show up relates to loyalty. But what about thoughts? Can thoughts be disloyal? I'll give you a simple example. Anyone in a relationship might have experienced this. Simple example might be noticing someone attractive and wondering what it might be like to have a physical dalliance with them, and you're in a relationship with someone else. You don't do it. You don't even communicate about it. You just fantasize about it. Is that disloyal? So that takes us to where a lot of survivors of narcissistic abuse get stuck, which is the thought that if you think someone who is close to you, someone you're supposed to care about or love, a parent, a spouse, or a partner, an adult child, a really dear friend, if you have the thought that they're narcissistic or that they're abusive or that they're never going to change or that they're always going to be a toxic person, is that disloyal? I'm struck by the number of people who believe a thought with no action, a thought can be disloyal. And that right there becomes a real stumbling block to healing. What happens is that folks, maybe even you, may stumble onto a YouTube channel like this, or to an Instagram page, or to a book and think, yikes, I'm reading this, I'm listening to this, I'm watching this, oh, dear old dad, or my wife, or my son, whoever it is, they may be narcissistic. There are all these things, they're awful in their behavior, they're doing all the stuff this person's talking about. Every so often the relationship's okay, but generally they say and do things that have consistently hurt me, and it keeps happening, and nothing I've ever done or said works with them. So you have that thought. Maybe they're narcissistic, and then people will think, oh, no, I'm the bad one. I am a piece of shit for thinking that. How can I have so little faith in someone I'm supposed to love? Maybe I'm the bad-hearted one. Maybe I'm the narcissist. Maybe I'm the rotten person. Now, this is especially bad when you're having these thoughts about family of origin, a parent or a sibling. You're told you're supposed to love them. And when you think this bad thought, a lot of people will feel guilty. And they'll either pivot and blame themselves for being so bad as to think my mom's narcissistic, or they go back into denial or pull out a million justifications like, oh, they can't be narcissistic. They sent me a text on my birthday, that sort of thing. Now, I get it. I understand how people can go there, and this is not easy. I thought about this a lot during the holidays when I do know quite a few narcissistic folks, and I had some decent moments with some of the narcissistic folks in my life, and I tried to receive it as a sunny day, to be my best self with them. But then when it went south again, and it always did, I knew I was right, that they were narcissistic, are narcissistic, but it didn't mean I have to be fists up all the time. The radical acceptance is a way to allow us to remain serene enough in the face of their narcissism coming up again. But I also double down on being my best RAMANI, the best I could, with no expectations of reciprocity or that they would do right, even if I did right. I didn't have to lose myself. But I also did have moments where I did wonder, maybe I'm the bitch. Those moments would typically fade pretty fast when their behavior proved me wrong, and they would do something narcissistic again. But even then, I'd have that moment of like, maybe you're getting lost in all your narcissism stuff, Ramani. I personally, and as a shrink, don't believe that thoughts are disloyal. I think thoughts are a place where we can process stuff, create working models to help us make sense of the world. We can try out a thought and it may then connect to a feeling. By framing the narcissistic people in our lives, by framing their toxic behavior as unacceptable, and recognizing, sadly, that it is part of a personality, that is who they are and isn't going to change, it may bring up grief, but it also allows us to maintain realistic expectations. Then we can dig deeper into our authentic selves despite being in the presence of behavior that is not good for us. We can show up as a good version of ourselves for ourselves and not because we think it will change them. It's a process, but this loyalty barrier can really block people from getting to radical acceptance and then subsequently healing. It's okay to have the thought that a parent's behavior disgusts you, or that a sibling is horrifying to listen to, or that you wish you never had to spend another minute with a narcissistic family member, or that you hope that your narcissistic adult child moves away and falls out of touch. It's okay. It doesn't make you disloyal to have these thoughts. It makes you human and frankly honest and aware. Being honest with yourself is a key first step to healing, and having a feeling or having an experience within you doesn't make you disloyal. Anyone who wants to know more about healing, we break out on these topics a lot more than this. Go check out the link in the video notes. Until then, remember, your thoughts are your thoughts, a place to try new stuff out that doesn't affect anyone else. When it jumps the lines into behavior, it's a different conversation. Thanks again.